Welcome back to another episode of Lens on Life right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. Before we do head off to Monday the 25th of May 2026, where I head off to Christchurch Food Festival for a few hours, let me cast your minds back to Sunday the 24th of May 2026, where my sister and her partner had a barbecue in their back garden. My sister's partner's family, including his mum, his dad, his nan, and his brother turned up for the barbecue as well, so it was very lovely to see them. Let me show you guys what I had during the barbecue though. I did have some chips, a plate of chips with salt and vinegar on, with some mayonnaise on the side. I also had a cheeseburger with some ketchup in it. I also had a hot dog with some ketchup on it as well. I also had a sweet and smoky barbecue beef kebab as well. And I also had a double cheeseburger with some sausages and a pork chop in a bun as well, which by the way was absolutely filling, and I couldn't finish it all. I only managed to eat at least a quarter or a half of that massive burger in a bun that I had. And for a drink to wash down my barbecue, I did have a blue vodka WKD in a cold can as well. So that was the barbecue that my sister and her partner had on Sunday the 24th of May 2026. Right now though, let's head off to Monday the 25th of May 2026, where I head off to Christchurch for their annual food festival. It's food, glorious food in this episode. Gonna be honest with you guys here, but there wasn't really a lot at the Christchurch Food Festival that really picked my interest in terms of food stalls and stuff. They did have loads of food stalls there. What you're currently seeing right now is from the Sheep Show, which was one of the stages at Christchurch Food Festival. However, I did have this ice cold still lemonade, half a pint, which was £2, very tasty. This is me in the car with my sunshades and my hat on with my headphones around my neck as we went off to Christchurch High Street, as my sister and her partner needed to hand something back to one of the stores at Christchurch High Street. And then we went off to Summerford in Christchurch as we went to an aquatic centre to look at some fish. And we also went into a garden centre while we were there as well to have a look at some of the garden plants that they had in the store as well. So, as mentioned, obviously I did go to the Christchurch Food Festival yesterday and it wasn't the best, to be honest. There was a lot of stalls, and obviously when it comes to stalls, there is obviously a lot of products there to taste test and stuff, which I did manage to do. There was a few products that I did manage to taste test, and don't get me wrong, some of the products that I did taste test were very, very lovely. Like, obviously they gave away some samples and stuff, very, very lovely. But however though, there wasn't really anything there that kind of took my fancy, that kind of I wanted to try and stuff. So obviously I did try the ice cold still lemonade, which was very, very lovely by the way. But other than that though, like obviously I did get a Pepsi Max from one of the bars as well, which was like a bar that was on a London transport bus, which I thought was pretty cool. There was a bit of entertainment. Obviously there was like some dancing groups there, and obviously there was the Sheep Show that I showed you guys as well. But other than that, I mean, that was pretty much it. Obviously we did go off to a garden centre in Summerford in Christchurch afterwards. So we just had a look at some of the fish there, and we had a look at some of the garden plants and stuff, the cactuses as well. So, but we didn't pick anything up there. But other than that though, like I enjoyed going to the Christchurch Food Festival. We did also stop off at Christchurch High Street as well, because my sister and her partner needed to return something, and afterwards we decided to go along the High Street in Christchurch because they had a market going on. We just had a look around the market. Not really much took our fancy at the market, but we did stop off and get a Flake 99 at the Mr. Whippy ice cream van afterwards though, before we got back in the car. So that was really cool. We did that. Also as well, obviously we're currently, at the time of filming this, we're currently going through a heat wave as well, so we definitely needed the ice cream, that's for sure. And then after that, we came back here. We just chilled out here for the rest of the afternoon. I'm not gonna lie, I have got a bit of a runny nose at the moment because, well, yesterday I had a bit of a dry throat. Today I've got a bit of a runny nose. So I think it's just to do with the temperatures that we've currently got. One minute it's cold, then the next it's warm, and then it's really hot, you know. So obviously me going outside a lot as well, you know, it does affect the body temperature from time to time. Whenever the temperatures go up or down, you know, it does affect the body temperature. And when we have a cold and stuff like that, so it's kind of mental to think that we're currently going through a heat wave at the moment, and I have got a cold, or somewhat of a cold anyway. So I am going to be meeting up with my friend Kieran in Poole very shortly, so you guys will see that towards the end of this episode of Lens on Life. Before I do, though, I'm going to go back to today. Today is Tuesday, the 26th of May, 2026. And I ended up, straight after work, coming back here and picking up a Virgin Media broadband router box, and I took it into Poole, took it into the O2 store to return it back to Virgin Media. The reason being is obviously because I'd stopped paying for broadband a little while ago, obviously because I'm not using the broadband. Obviously I've been paying for the broadband for the last year and stuff, but obviously I'm not using it anymore, so obviously I've stopped paying for it, and obviously Virgin Media gave me a prepaid package to pack the box away in and then send it back to them. Obviously I did that, and then I've taken it into O2 for them to send off to Virgin Media. Got a return receipt with that as well, obviously, just in case there's any issues towards the end of this week, because my Virgin Media broadband router needed to be back to Virgin Media by the end of this week. If it wasn't, then I would have been charged 40 quid, which, let's face it, I don't want to pay an extra 40 quid, do I? I want to try and avoid that as much as possible. So I have now returned my Virgin Media box back to O2. They've taken it, so it's in their hands now. I've done my bit, so hopefully by the end of this week I won't get charged. Otherwise, if I do, then obviously I need to dispute it with Virgin Media and say, I've got proof, I've returned it. I've even got an email actually as proof to say I've returned it as well, so that's also another good thing. So, yes, anyway, so I am now going to be meeting up with my friend Kieran over in Poole, because we're having our monthly meet-up. We're probably going to be having a Weatherspoons, to be honest, and a bit of a catch-up, but without further ado, though, let's meet up with Kieran. Before we do, actually, let me just say one more thing. I want to very quickly talk about noshing. That sounds so wrong. So the reason being is because this week, or for the last week or so, I've been walking past a couple of cafes, or going past a couple of cafes, and they've got the word nosh at the end of the cafe name. You know, they've got it at the end of their cafe name, and I don't know, something about the word nosh, I don't know, it sounds so wrong. It just sounds so wrong. You know, hello guys, this is what I've got as nosh. You know, this is my nosh. Sounds so wrong. You know, imagine me meeting up with Kieran on Thursday and then me saying to you guys, this is my Weatherspoons nosh. Oh dear, that's awful. Anyway, I just thought I'd point it out because I just find it really funny. I mean, obviously it is another term for food, don't get me wrong, nosh. Just like scran, you know, the word scran is another word for another term for food. If you don't know that already, then, well, you've just learned something new. Congratulations. But, yeah, I just find it really weird. Nosh. Nosh. Here's my nosh. Anyway, guys, without further ado, let's head off and see Kieran in Poole for you during this episode of Lens on Life. It is, by the way, Thursday the 28th of May 2026. I was meant to be meeting up with Kieran today, and I didn't. Reason being is because, if you can't tell already, but I've been feeling a little bit run down, partially because of the heat wave, and obviously my body's been in various different temperatures over the last couple of days as well. 1 minute I've been in the cold, then obviously I've been in the hot, and all of that stuff. So yeah, I was going to meet up with Kieran today, but obviously that didn't happen, because last thing I want is for my health to get even worse than what it was. I am feeling slightly better, so obviously there has been a couple of days this week where I've kind of been going to bed really late, but not because I've not been tired or anything like that. It's just with the heat wave and stuff, obviously it's been very muggy and you just can't sleep, you know, so that doesn't help at all either. So I am going to get another early night tonight like I did last night. I am going to see Kieran. I am going to meet up with Kieran in this episode of The Lens on Life. However, though, the footage that I will be filming with Kieran isn't going to be from today, obviously, because I've not met up with him. I have agreed, however, to meet up with him next week, which is Thursday, the 4th of June, 2026, okay? So the footage you'll see of me meeting up with Kieran will be from the 4th of June, 2026, whilst I'm also filming next week's episode of Lens on Life as well. So I'm technically filming 2 episodes of Lens on Life at the same time, which is very bizarre, because obviously I'm filming pretty much a little bit of this episode next week, and then of course I'm filming episode 12 of Lens on Life as well next week. Anyway, I just wanted to pop on and just let you guys know that I didn't meet up with Kieran today, sadly, because I'm a little bit run down, a little bit unwell. I am slowly on the path of recovery though. I'm getting slightly better, which is good, positive news. So without further ado, let's head off on Thursday the 4th of June 2026. Let's head off and see my friend Kieran for a Wetherspoons. Okay. Kieran's testing out his beans.
Yeah,
because he doesn't know whether they were cooked or not.
Yeah, no, well they just look kind of like dry or like...
they do look very dry, to be fair.
Yeah, no, they're better now. Okay.
Oh my god. Well, anyway, me and Kieran are meeting up, by the way. How are you?
Yep, good.
Apart from your beans looking a little bit dry and
undercooked.
Yeah,
no, but no, everything else looks
everything else is alright. It looks all serviceable.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it will be my lunch for the day.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you got your wings. But
yeah, I've got my wings at the moment, but I haven't.
You just ordered the same as me.
I have pretty much ordered the same as Kieran, which is an all-day brunch. Although the only difference is you didn't get hot honey with yours.
No, I didn't. No, is that good?
I don't know. I've never tried it. I've never tried it with hot honey.
Maybe I should have tried some sauce actually.
Yeah.
But oh well.
But yeah, so Kieran's gone for wings with an all-day brunch, and a regular Pepsi, and I went for a Pepsi Max Cherry as well. So, oh, by the way, I've got some news, and it's to do with when I was on my way to see you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know Constitution Hill?
Yeah.
Where we used to go to college like 13 years ago.
So long ago.
So long ago. It's actually demolished.
Was it completely?
It's completely demolished.
It's supposed to be residential.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's meant to be a residential.
Yeah.
But yeah,
because you had the building.
Like you had the reception, and then I think you had like a massive hill. That was the car park.
Yeah.
Then you had a bigger hill, and then it was all those A to D blocks.
Those other blocks, yeah.
Yeah.
But what? They're all just gone.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Okay.
So all demolished. All demolished. So
Time flies.
Time flies in 13 years.
And it can be very cruel.
Yes, it can be. It can be very cruel. So, yeah, anyway, this is our May meet-up.
Yeah.
Because we didn't meet last week.
No, we didn't.
Because I was sick.
Well, yeah, but we didn't meet in May at all.
No. So this is our May meet-up, and then we're going to meet up in a few weeks for June.
A few weeks, yeah.
So, which will probably be Tower Park.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I imagine that would be Tower Park.
Yeah, I think it will be as well. So yeah. Anyway, so that is, well, at the moment this is my lunch. Just wings with some hot honey. My lunch will be on its way very soon. But yeah, I'm currently in Wetherspoons in Poole, meeting up with Kieran for the afternoon. So I am still at Wetherspoons in Poole, and this is what I've got for dessert. I have got a warm chocolate fudge cake with some vanilla ice cream as well, and I've also gone for another glass of Pepsi Max Cherry as well.
Mine's nearly gone.
And Kieran's is nearly gone. It was pancakes. No more pancakes.
Yeah, no pancakes.
So there we go. So yeah, so that is what I've got for my dessert at Wetherspoons on this Thursday afternoon. Just want to say a massive thank you to Kieran for appearing in this episode of Lens on Life. Really do appreciate it. And of course, as mentioned, I will be seeing Kieran again later in June 2026. He will be appearing in the 13th episode of this series of Lens on Life. And also as well, that's going to serve as the final episode of Lens on Life for this series of Lens on Life. Is there going to be a series 2? However, find out in next week's episode 12 of Lens on Life, right here over on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. Now, coming up in next week's episode of Lens on Life, I will give you an update, of course, in regards to a Season 2 renewal or Series 2 renewal, whether this series has been renewed for a second series, and when that will be coming out on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. Also, as well, coming up in next week's episode, I'm going to be making a few visits to the cinema as well, as I'm planning to go and see Scary Movie, also known as Scary Movie 6, Masters of the Universe, Backrooms as well, and another new film that has come out at the time of recording this Lens on Life series, which is called Tuna. Not tuna as in the fish tuna, but tuna as in someone who fine-tunes things like a piano, for example. I believe the film Tuna is a crime sort of film, so kind of looking forward to watching that when I do go and see that in next week's episode of Lens on Life. Also, as well, coming up in next week's episode of Lens on Life right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial, I am also going to be doing some taste testers as well. A couple of drinks have landed recently. The Costa Coffee have got a limited edition Jaffa Cake cold drink that they serve in their fridges. So I'm going to give that a taste test. And Tesco have also launched their ice cream flavoured range of Pepsi that I do want to give a go. The 3 flavours that they have launched is cherry and vanilla, raspberry ripple, and salted caramel flavour. I'm definitely intrigued to know how the salted caramel tastes. And also coming up in next week's episode of Lens on Life as well, I'm going to be bringing you guys a little bit of an update in regards to Final Space, the graphic novel. Has my Final Space graphic novel been shipped out here in the UK from America? We'll find out in next week's episode of Lens on Life. And hopefully, I may even be able to give you an estimated date as to when I will get my hands on the Final Space, the final chapter graphic novel as well. So looking forward to reading that and looking forward to finding out whether or not it has been shipped or not. Anyway, guys, that is it for this week's episode of Lens on Life. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And as always, if you are new around here, you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below to become a Stevo. And of course, don't forget to tap that notification bell so that you guys can get notified, whether it be your smartphone or your tablet. You'll get notified every time I upload a new video to my YouTube channel. So from me, it's goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again in my next YouTube video.